Guru Gobind Singh. Guru Gobind Singh. Guru Gobind Singh. A look at the history of the world will tell us that there is no parallel or comparison anywhere in the world with the saga of the father-son combination of Guru Tegh Bahadur and Guru Gobind Singh Sahib. Nowhere in the world is there a parallel. Nowhere have so many sacrifices been made for the betterment of mankind and the world. Nowhere. Guru Gobind Singh never sought an easy life, the way ordinary mortals like me do. His entire life, a saga of selfless sacrifice, nobleness, and supreme belief in justice and dharma, Guru Sahib left behind a priceless legacy of beliefs and principles of great relevance to present day society. They affect you and me every day of our lives. They are of particular importance to mankind and particularly to us Sikhs. In fact, they are the roadmap for how Sikhs should conduct themselves. He made the map, we just have to follow it. The signs of greatness were there right from Guru Sahib's birth in 1666, when a Muslim fakir, Syed Bekhan Shah, saw a strange light in the heavens above the little town of Khoram. Bowing to it, he declared, God has sent a new light on this earth. That light was Gobind Singh. So began the saga of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, a saga of selfless sacrifice, nobleness of thoughts, supreme belief in justice and dharma. Guru Gobind Singh's life was one big struggle. His father, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib, was martyred in Delhi to save Kashmiri Pandits. And when he himself assumed the mantle of Guru, he had the sadness and mortification of seeing all four of his sons killed. As you know, the elder two in battle and the younger two bricked alive. Because of their staunch support and their staunch belief in Sikhism. Almost his entire life was spent fighting off the intrigues and machinations of the hill chiefs of North India and the ruling sultans, with the Masands also ganging up against him. Everybody ganged up against him. It was a question of living on the edge, with danger never far away. Yet he continued undaunted in his quest for dharma. It was with martial considerations in mind and to promote the cause of dharma that the Guru created the Khalsa on Vaisakhi Day in 1699, as you know, through an electrifyingly impactful ceremony. It was absolutely electrical, that ceremony. His followers were a spiritual and social entity rather than a politically dynamic force. He then declared that he had evolved a new order, whereby there would be no high, no low, and all would be equal, as shown by the fact that he himself had joined his ranks. He himself became a soldier in his own army. Calling the Khalsa the pure and his very own, he thus gave a formal entity to the concept of the warrior saint, which he had championed all his life. Certain hallmarks of Sikhism were established permanently as part of the religion. The Khalsa were ordained to believe in one God, shun rituals and superstitions, seek respect for women, and consider everyone equal. These are precisely the sort of beliefs that the world needs today. We all need these beliefs. Equality for all citizens is one of India's primary social objectives, and respect for women is a priority issue. Guru Sahib had this vision over 300 years ago. When one considers his achievements and impact on society, it's hard to imagine that Guru Gobind Singh Ji's life span was a mere 40 odd years, just 42 years. Despite his turbulent life, he was a great patron of the arts. At Paonta Sahib, he meditated, composed poetry, and wrote much of the Dasam Granth. His chivalrous and devotional verse was written at Paonta Sahib. At Anandpur Sahib, he left his mark on several different facets of life, and he encouraged art in all forms to flourish. He encouraged life in all forms to flourish. But perhaps his greatest message was that one should ignore cosmetic images and look at each and every person as a human being. Each being deserved to be treated well and with kindness. Each had a right to lead a peaceful and dignified existence. His service to the Sikh community was invaluable. You can't put a price on it. But he was also a savior of other communities, giving them a sense of pride and dignity. His new order was a mission to do right. He did it right till the end, and he paid for his beliefs and ideals with his life and the lives of his entire family. Society owes it to itself and to his memory to practice those ideals the way he did. That is our duty. It's the very least one can do for this exceptional saint and guru. It is no wonder that 4 of the 5 Sikh takhts, which means thrones, are linked with Guru Gobind Singh. For if ever anybody deserved a throne, it is him. The question now is, what did Guru Gobind Singh teach me? Basically, he inspired me to look beyond my own limited vision. I have a very limited vision. I have a very limited character. He inspired me to look a little beyond. I have taken the liberty of drawing comparisons and realized how lofty he is and how low I am. There is a question in humanity, should we give or should we take? As a human being, I tend to take. There's no bad intention. It's just the way we human beings are made. We want to take. We always want. Guru Sahib taught me to give rather than take. Because that is precisely what he did. He always gave, he never took. When I became an orphan, when I lost my father and then later my mother, I got very, very sad because I live alone. But Guru Sahib's presence kept me going because I realized that he had lost his family. How did he survive? If he could survive, then can I not? I tried. He gave me a family. Guru Sahib gave me a family in the form of the Sat Sangat. After all, just being here amidst you makes me feel like a family member because we are what he wanted, a family. I have gained from that. You are my family. When I get lonely, I think of him and wonder if he ever got lonely. He had lost his family. He had lost many of his followers and his soldiers. But did he get lonely? Thinking like this makes me less lonely. When I get tense, I'm always tense. My friends tell me you're always tense. My sisters tell me I'm always tense. Maybe they're right. I think of the problems he faced and at least a little bit of my tension goes down. When I get depressed, I think of how he must have felt at the loss of his family. My comfortable home. I live only 200 meters from here. I don't live in a palace, but I have a comfortable home. Yet, I always want more. I'm always yearning. I'm always looking over the wall. Then I think of Guru Sahib and wonder how he managed with the harsh surroundings to which he was exposed. He didn't have a home for many years. He lived on horseback. Especially when he was constantly on the move because he was being hounded by his enemies. And suddenly, my little home becomes more comfortable. My hearty meals. I eat heartily like all of us, but still hanker for more. I still want something that I don't have. Then I think of Guru Sahib and visualize how he would have managed. There were times when he and his followers had no cooked food available for long periods of time. My physical appearance, my turban has given me a degree of respect I don't really deserve. Our turban and long hair are jewels we must all cherish. My character and disposition, I try to remember that we were given our physical identity for a reason, and so we should always try to show character. A Sikh's turban is his uniform. We can't afford to abuse our uniform. I think we are the richest people in the world because good Sikhs, when they are born in a good Sikh family, are already given a diamond which is in their pocket. With each passing day, I think, behaving like a real Sikh, this diamond gets bigger and bigger. The greatest gift of all, Guru Gobind Singh left us the greatest gift in the world in the form of the Guru Granth Sahib. This is the greatest gift we could ever get. By declaring the Guru Granth Sahib as our eternal Guru, he ensured that we would always be welcomed with blessings at any Gurdwara, anywhere in the world, on any day or any night. Just imagine that. You can walk into a Gurdwara anywhere in the world and get blessings. You can do this today and tomorrow and for the rest of your life. Guru Sahib gave us a permanent home, which is the Gurdwara. Make no mistake, this is your permanent home. Imagine how lucky we are that we can enter any Gurdwara and get blessings for free. How lucky we are. You pay nothing, you get back everything. That is Guru Gobind Singh. He demands nothing, he gives us everything. Every morning, every evening, every day of our lives, every day, every week, every month, every year, he is giving, giving, giving. No one in the world has given as much as him. No one. We owe him a debt of gratitude beyond measure. As Sikhs, we owe him our very existence. Without him, we could not and would not have existed. That is actually a historical fact. We would not have been present here today in this Gurdwara. We simply would not have existed. Guru Gobind Singh, our father, our brother, our protector, our mentor, our priceless, peerless Guru, the reason for our being, the reason for our life. Guru Gobind Singh, Guru Gobind Singh, Guru Gobind Singh. अगर वो नहीं होते तो हम नहीं होते, अगर वो नहीं होते तो हम नहीं होते। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी।